Alright, I know you're confused right now. I can explain everything, but you gotta trust me, okay? Listen, you're in terrible.
What's up, you guys? This is One Classic Gamer here, and normally I wouldn't do a video like this, but you know, this subject has been just bothering me ever since I heard about it. This happened about a week ago, and you know, I've wanted to sort of express my thoughts and opinions on this. I mean, normally I wouldn't do something like this, but it's a subject that affects me personally. And it's a story that affects me, and hearing it just pisses me the fuck off. Now, what am I talking about? Visceral Games has officially been shut down. EA has shut Visceral Games down. Now, this story was, you know, this happened about a week ago now, like I said. And before I get into Visceral Games and, you know, what they're known for, I figured, you know, I'm going to try to explain what, you know, how this happened, how they got shut down. Now, I have an article here, and the article says that EA shutting down Visceral Games, overhauling Star Wars game. Here's the article. Electronic Arts is shutting down its Visceral Games studio and making major changes to the team's in-development Star Wars project. EA Executive Vice President Patrick Soderlund, sounds like a fucking asshole, announced today Visceral has been working on an action-adventure game in the Star Wars universe in some form since 2013. That's a long-ass fucking time. When EA and Disney announced a multi-year game deal, it's been described as a story-based linear adventure. You know, actual, real shit we want to see out of a Star Wars game. In the style of Naughty Dog's Uncharted series, but based on comments from Soderlund, again, fucking asshole, EA is making a significant change to that title. And, quote, throughout the development process, we have been testing the game concept with players, listening to the feedback about what and how they want to play, and closely tracking fundamental shifts in the marketplace. Soderlund said, it has become clear that to deliver an experience that players will want to come back to and enjoy for a long time to come, we need to pivot the design. We will maintain the stunning visuals, authenticity in the Star Wars universe, and focus on bringing a Star Wars story to life. Importantly, we are shifting the game to be a broader experience that allows for more variety and player agency, leaning into the capabilities of our Frostbite engine and reimagining central elements of the game to give players a Star Wars adventure of greater depth and breadth. What the fuck? I think they made a typo error here. Breadth to explore, whatever. Oh my god. Okay, so first off, greater depth. Motherfucker, you guys are just trying to make shit that appeals to the fucking market, okay? You just want to make another fucking Battlefront. You want to make another freaking typical third-person or first-person shooter in the Star Wars universe. So, if you don't know what happened to Visceral Games, you know, from what I just read to you, basically, they were working on the Star Wars project. They've been working on the Star Wars project. Imagine it kind of like, you know, Breath of the Wild. Nintendo had been working on Breath of the Wild since 2013. And the new Star Wars game has been, you know, in development since 2013, and they were planning on releasing it, I think, in 2018, Visceral Games was. But what happened is, since Visceral Games belongs to EA, EA saw what they were doing. They were trying to make an actual really good fucking game, but EA's like, no, we want to do the same shit that everyone else does, and we want our game to appeal to the marketplace. So you know what? We're going to fucking shut you guys down, and we're going to make our own game. So Visceral Games is finally, I say finally because, you know, honestly, EA, they have a pretty bad track record of, you know, taking a bunch of famous game-like companies, draining them dry, and then just fucking shutting them down when they have no use for them anymore. This pisses me off because Visceral Games is one of my favorite video game companies of all time. If you don't know what Visceral Games is responsible for, I mean, just look at what I'm showing you guys right here. Visceral Games is responsible for my favorite action-adventure horror series of all time, and that is the Dead Space franchise. Visceral Games is responsible for the Dead Space. They made the Dead Space games. They made the Dead Space games, which are some of my favorite fucking games of all time. I'm being genuine here. I'm being completely serious. You are listening to, you know, a freaking Dead Space fanboy here, man. I love these games so much. I love all of them. I even like the third one, too. I mean, it wasn't as great as all of them, but, you know, it was still enjoyable for what it was. But Dead Space 3 is kind of when Visceral Games kind of started getting taken over by EA. And that's just what EA does. And, you know, EA likes to fucking take over. And, you know, you got an example. Like, the first 2 Dead Space games were amazing. You know, action, sci-fi, adventure, horror games. They were amazing horror games with mixed, like, with action and horror. Not really the first game as much. The first game was flat-out horror. The second game had a pretty decent mixture of action and horror, but 2 really great games. And then when Dead Space 3 rolls around, they're like, you know what? We're going to do the same shit that Resident Evil did. We're going to try and we're going to take the horror away completely and just throw a bunch of action out and put microtransactions in and all that shit. Basically, EA has officially shut down the company that is responsible for one of the best fucking video game franchises that I've ever played. And it makes me so sad because ever since 2013, like when they finished Dead Space 3, I have been waiting for, you know, another Dead Space game. Honestly, I've been waiting so patiently, like a lot of other fans, for a Dead Space 4. If Visceral Games hadn't been shut down, they could still do it. They could still make another game. And they were talking about, you know, how they would love to revisit the Dead Space franchise. They were probably going to do another Dead Space game. But that's not going to happen now because EA wants to focus on their fucking... I'm sorry, I'm not trying to offend any Star Wars fans here. I'm a Star Wars fan, but they want to focus on their gay-ass Star Wars game, which is probably going to be so just fucking streamlined and generic, and man, I'm so pissed off. I'm so pissed off because I love Visceral Games, man. I love them just as much as I love Naughty Dog and, like, Rockstar. I love... Visceral Games is up there in my fucking top 5 game companies because the Dead Space games are literally my childhood, man. I know I played some pretty dark games back when I was younger. You know, I remember playing the first Dead Space game. I remember playing Dead Space 2. Dead Space 2, I mean, look at my freaking gameplay here. You know, I haven't played this game in years, but I've played it so much, like, back when it first came out, that I know where all the necromorphs are. I know where they're going to come out. I know how this game works. I've played these games so much because these are, like, some of my favorite games. And now this franchise is not going to continue because fucking greedy, generic-ass EA is like, you know what? You're not doing what we want you to do, so we're just going to we're going to shut you guys down. We're going to fucking shut you guys down. So, this is something that it pisses me off. It really does because... Man, I'm just, you know, it really pisses me off. Like I said, normally I wouldn't do a video like this, but, you know, this company has made just amazing games. Like, the Dead Space games are so good. Like, if you have not played the Dead Space games, you should go fucking do it right now. These games are fantastic, and I love these games. And now the franchise isn't going to continue, and, you know, because the fucking company is getting shut down by EA. Literally. It's so sad to me that we're getting, as time goes on, we're getting less and less of the original shit. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong, we still got companies like Naughty Dog out there that are pumping out, like, really high-quality games. And I don't mind, you know, a first-person shooter game every now and then. I mean, I always buy the Call of Duty games every year and play them for the hell of it because it's sort of like a tradition of mine. No matter how shitty the new Call of Duty game is, I always have to get it. Same thing with Battlefield and all that, but it's like nowadays game companies, corporations are like, we're gonna copy each other, and we're gonna stop making really, like, original games like fucking Dead Space, and we're gonna make more games like fucking Battlefield and the first Star Wars Battlefront game, you know, and we're gonna just make cheap-ass games, and it just pisses me off. It really pisses me off, and a lot of people, I'm sure, are upset about this too. I know I'm not the only one, because there's a huge community of people that love the Dead Space games with a passion like I do. So this just made me really fucking upset to hear this, and it really did. And I've just been doing nothing but just revisiting Dead Space games recently because I can't get this shit out of my head. The fact that Visceral Games is now gone, it just, man, fuck you, EA. Fuck you guys. I'm not buying a single one of your guys' games anymore. Actually, I probably will. I don't know. You know, but I don't, it makes me not want to buy anything from EA. It really, it just pisses me off. So, yeah, I wanted to talk about this because this is a subject that kind of hits me. You know, it affects me, and I wanted to talk about it. So, those are my opinions on fucking Visceral Games getting shut down by EA. If you guys enjoyed this, if you guys agree with this, please comment down below. Give this video a like, subscribe, and yeah. I'll see you guys later. Peace.